Hi, everyone. Welcome to Tiffany Ave Talks. I am Tiffany Ave, and today I am talking to an epitome of Black girl magic, one of the youngest certified airframe technicians, private pilot from New York City. You can find her in the skies, or you can find her on Instagram at Flying with Ariel. Ladies and gentlemen, Ariel Messam, welcome. How are you doing?
I'm awesome. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you. I'm so happy to have you on the show. I'm such a fan of what you're doing. I am amazed by your dedication, knowing your passions very early in life. It's super impressive to me because it took me a while to kind of figure things out. You were featured on one of my Tiffany Ave takes, and you left a comment about just like your title and what you do. So I want to pass the floor to you to clear the air, if you will, about what exactly you do.
All right, no problem. So, hi everyone. My name is Ariel. I am 18 years old, and I am a private pilot and also a certified airframe technician. So, in order to be an aircraft mechanic, you need two licenses. You have the airframe and power plant, and I actually graduated from aviation high school, where I acquired the training for both of those licenses. And I'm originally from New York City, but I just moved to Atlanta to work with Delta in
Oh,
their tech ops department.
congratulations.
And thank you.
Hmm.
And I am also a flight simulator instructor and mentor, and I do a lot of social media interactions. I'm a video editor, and I love plane spotting and also educating people who also want to become pilots.
Oh, that is amazing. Wow. You have a lot on your plate, but you're
Yeah.
doing an amazing job. I think what kind of brought me to what you do is I started out with flying. I was very fearful of flying. So I tried my best to kind of educate myself the best that I could on planes and flying, which has helped me a lot. So I would like to know things about your perspective. And today I'm going to try to use some of the things that I've learned to navigate our conversation so that we learn more about your perspective. So I
Okay.
am entitling this aerial dynamics. So
Yes.
first thing we're gonna do is talk baseline, your starting point. Just tell me a little bit about yourself. What was your upbringing like? Things that may have brought you to this point.
So I didn't always want to be a pilot. I used to want
Mm-hmm.
to be a bridge architect. I don't know what it was, but it was something about just being on them all the time in New York City,
Mm-hmm.
traveling. I was really interested. But when I was 14 years old, my brother showed me this program in Minnesota where you go there for a week and they show you all the different types of programs in aviation. So I applied and I ended up getting accepted and receiving a scholarship to attend there, which
Mm-hmm.
was amazing because my background, we did not come from money. So these kind of things are really important to us.
Yeah.
So I went to Minnesota and they took me on my first airplane, helicopter, and glider flight. And I was just really amazed. Like I didn't even know I could fly. Like that
Right.
wasn't a picture or a thought. And they
Yeah.
also took us to a flight attendant camp. We saw what the aircraft mechanics did, the ramp agents, baggage handlers, all that good stuff. When the camp was over, I came back to New York and I said, Mom, Dad, guys, I want to fly. Like, that was just incredible. So I ended up looking for a flight school and I did all the ground school portion because there's
Mm-hmm.
stuff you have to learn on the ground that you don't necessarily have to be in the airplane for. So I did all that before I started consistently flight training. And I was 16 years old when correction, 17, when I found my flight school, Long Island Aviators, and it took me about a year to get my private pilot's license through them.
Okay. What was the reaction from your parents when you told them that you wanted to fly?
They were actually really excited. My dad
Okay.
used to fly when he was in Jamaica, and then he
Hmm.
came to America and he stopped flying.
Hmm.
I found that out when I was 14. I don't know like why he hasn't said anything before,
Hmm.
but so he was excited. It kind of, brought something up from when he
Yeah.
got really enlightened by that. And My mom, she was, she wants me to figure out what I want to do at an early age because I
Mm-hmm.
have four other siblings and that was just,
Mm.
something they did. So she was happy that I finally got it. And my other family members, they're like, what? You want to fly? It's not something, people like us do or think about.
Absolutely.
So some of them are completely shocked. And when I got the license, they were like, oh, yeah, she's a go-getter.
Absolutely. So I guess I want to know the cockpit experience. What does it feel like to actually fly a plane? Is it comparable to anything else that a regular person would understand, or can you describe like what it feels like for you?
Yes. It's different,
Hmm.
but it's not hard. I will say the maintenance side of things is 100 times harder than actually flying the plane. Usually when I take people up, or if other people take me before I even had my license, we'll sit there and hold the controls. And it's like driving a car. If you let go of the steering wheel, it's not just gonna, go off to the side.
Yeah.
Same thing with the plane. If you let it go, the plane wants to fly itself.
Hmm.
So it's fairly simple. I actually learned how to drive after I learned how to fly because
Wow.
yeah, I didn't start driving by myself until I came down here to Atlanta because everything is far. But it's fairly simple. I love being in control. It's different when you're a passenger compared to when you're saying, okay, I got this. I can go wherever I want.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, so let's talk propelling. So you're doing an amazing job on your socials. I've seen articles where you have spoke at events. Can you tell me your take on the representation aspect, just as a woman in aviation, woman of color in aviation? What does that mean to you?
It's honestly a part of like one of my core values and morals now. Exposure is everything. And I actually learned that from my brother, and he embedded into me that people like us, the reason why we don't do these things is because we're not exposed to it. So
Hmm.
I made it my job to make sure that other girls like me know that this is an option. You don't have to do it, but if I'm doing it, you can do it too. And
Yes.
I think representation is really important. Number one being there's only 7% of females in the aviation industry that are pilots, let alone Black females, which make up 1% of them.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different organizations out there as well, which I didn't know about until later on. And when people first tell me, like, hey, I'm interested, I tell them to join these organizations such as Women in Aviation or OBAP, which is Organization for Black Aerospace Professionals. And if you're in New York City now, Level Up and Take Off is my brother's nonprofit organization where we try to help promote what's out there in Long Island in the
Mhm.
aviation industry to New York City because you can't just go to JFK and say, "Hey, I want to fly."
Okay, great. Well, thank you for sharing resources. Thank you for what you do being the representation. It definitely means a lot. When I saw the articles about to get Missy out, I was like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. Uh, so, next we're going to talk cabin crew. So, something that I noticed from your socials and your page, like you seem to have a good sense of community, people who support you. So, can you tell me what is the importance of that?
Yes. My family, they're not too into aviation. So
Hmm.
when it came to connecting with these other people that are part of, the aviation community and these other organizations, I was able to build sort of like an aviation family,
Hmm.
and all of us are in different places their journey. Some of us are student pilots, some of us are airline pilots, flight instructors, and there's just one of us at each step of the way. And
Hmm.
having that guidance and people where you feel like you can talk to, they understand what you're going through because they've been through the process. It really helps because I can't really go to my family and explain sort of the issues I'm having with flying for them. So having that family that's dedicated to aviation is a big, big.
I love that. And that's definitely relatable because, and I feel like, anyone in any field that or any interest that you may have, it's important to build that community, because a lot of times, like how you say, maybe some of the people who are closest to you, they may not be into that, and having that connection, that definitely helps with experiences and the things that you may go through. So definitely, definitely important. Next, we're going to talk turbulence. So can you maybe speak to any challenges you may have along your journey, how you face them, anything that you may have dealt with, anything like that?
I thought you were about to talk about the actual turbulence. I'm like, yo, man, there's a lot of that in these small. But of course, so the biggest challenge was financially. Becoming
Hmm.
a pilot is very expensive, and that's another barrier to folks that look like us.
Hmm.
Um, but there's resources out there, scholarships, and you just gotta apply to all of them, no matter how small. You don't know what you can get, and you might
Yeah.
just be that person. And you don't have to have any experience either, but scholarships definitely help with that. I created a GoFundMe to actually help me as well. The link is in my bio on my Instagram. And mentally, it was very frustrating because I was doing all my maintenance classes at aviation high school while trying to acquire my private pilot's license. And one's in the city of New York, one is out in Long Island. So the commute to have to go to school early in the morning and then go fly right after that, that was also challenging. And then just having that support at home. Like
Hmm.
sometimes I'd have to be out all day and then I'll come home and my parents, they'd expect a lot of me, but I'm beat by that time. And it was just hard trying to juggle, my future career and my at home life. But I did it. And I explained one of these things when I went to the Women in Aviation conference and I went to the Delta panel discussion.
Hmm.
And I told them my story, and they were really impressed. And that's actually where I got recruited to become a mechanic for them now.
Oh.
But I'd say the mental aspect and financial things were the biggest challenges.
Okay. Yeah, I get that. Well, we're definitely glad that you were able to make it through, and now your story is inspiring to other people and may help them push forward through whatever they may be going through. But I do want to talk actual turbulence, because that's a thing for a lot of people, a lot of passengers. I've watched countless videos on the science behind it or how you can deal with it. So, what's your take on turbulence? Can you give the people something that may ease their minds dealing with that?
Yes, if you're a passenger, let's say you don't want to become a pilot, turbulence is never done on purpose. Just remember that nobody is trying to hurt you. When we make our flight plans, the whole point is to find the smoothest route
Hmm.
to take us from point A to point B. So if we do encounter something, it's probably minor and it's not going to last forever.
Hmm.
That's one thing I always tell people, and especially when I fly and I see some nervous people, that are flying next to me when I'm on the airliners. And whenever we do encounter turbulence, they come and look at me because I have my navigation app open on my iPad. So, they're curious and start asking me questions.
Hmm.
And we'll go through terms, they're like, look at me as if I can fix it, which is so funny. But I'm like, don't worry, it's just temporary. In the small planes now, where the ones I fly train, it's always gonna be bumpy. Because we don't have, those large wings that the big airliners have. Because
Yeah.
they cover more surface area, you'll be smooth sailing through the winds in those planes compared to ours, where you'll feel every sort of little bump. So you do have to, I guess, avoid motion sickness if you want to become a pilot,
Hmm.
because you're gonna have to deal with that before you get to the
Okay. Okay. Good to know. Good to know.
airline.
Lastly, we're gonna talk flight plans. What is next for Ariel? Like, what is something that you would like to accomplish in your career? Any goals you may have?
So my end goal is to become an airline pilot, but as of right now, I am doing the maintenance stuff, as I build my hours. So you need 1,500 hours to become an airline pilot, or if you do through the college route, 1,000. I currently have about 130 hours with my private pilot's license, and you need about five different licenses to become an airline pilot. So you have your private, which I have, your instrument rating, which I'm working on now, your commercial, your multi-engine, and then your ATP, which is airline transport pilot. And you have to go through all of these in order to become an airline pilot. And there's stuff in between, like CFI, which is certified flight instructor, that you can do. A lot of people tend to go that route because you get a lot of flight time and you also get paid to fly while you're doing it. Me personally, I don't want to become a flight instructor. I
Mhm.
will get the license though, because some people might ask here and there, oh, can I do a checkout and things like that. But I will get it, but I don't plan on teaching. I would love to fly for this company called Tradewind. They do small charter operations and they fly one of my favorite planes, which is the PC-12. But my next steps, as of right now, I have my airframe license. I need to acquire my power plant license so that I can become a fully certified airframe power plant maintenance technician for Delta. But that
Okay.
is a short-term goal.
Nice. Very nice. Is there anything else that I may not have asked that you want to share or talk about?
Yes. I just want to let everyone that's watching know no question is too small or too dumb for me to answer because I didn't know who to talk to when I first started. So I'd love to be that person for any of you that are interested. So I'm here. You can DM me. I answer everyone's message. And when I say that, I'm so serious because I wouldn't want to be left out if I was that person. So hit me up, let me know, and I'll respond.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you for being a guest. I'm proud of what you're doing. A lot of people are proud of what you're doing, and we hope that you continue to soar.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.